Hey everyone, this is Austin Schur here with We Write About Music, and today I am back on again with Isabella Chiarini. She has just released a fantastic new track. It is called Love Me Not, and I'm very excited to talk to her all about it. Isabella, thank you for being here and making your way back. How are you? What's been up? What's been going on?
Thank you for having me. I'm really excited to be back. I've just been up here in Canada. I've been doing lots of performances recently, especially over the summer. Um,
Nice.
yeah, really focusing on that now that I can.
Right.
Yeah, and getting back into releasing again now that I kind of took a break over the summer. So I'm really excited about this one.
That's amazing. Yeah, it's been a little bit since we last spoke, and if I recall, shows were not really in the cards last time we talked. Things
Oh,
were very
definitely.
up in the air. So, before we get to the song, let's stay on the topic here. How has performing been? Like, I want to hear all about that because that's really exciting.
Yeah, it's been really good. I've had a lot of opportunities over the summer. Like I did a festival, like I've been doing even like restaurant ones. I've been doing
Nice.
all that kind of stuff. It's been really nice to finally be able to get back out there like consistently, um,
Totally.
and just like getting back out into it. And I feel like the confidence is coming back with it as well. Because like when you take such
Yes.
a long break, like going back into it sometimes is a little nerve-wracking. But now I feel like I'm getting into the swing of it again, which is great.
1,000%. Truly, like it's like exercising. Like,
Yeah,
you get back out there and you're sore, but the more you do it, the more natural it becomes. So
definitely.
what has the show been looking like for you? Has it all just been originals? Have you thrown any covers in there? Like, how are you engaging people?
I normally do a mix of both. Like I'll do originals and covers just so
Nice.
like people can have stuff to sing along to if they don't know
Yeah.
my stuff and like it kind of brings people in. I always start with a cover and then I'll do like my own songs after that.
Completely understand. And honestly, that kind of makes sense because as great as your original music is, people may not be familiar with you. Like you never know who you're playing to in a crowd. They may know your music, but there's nothing uniting about, or there's everything uniting about playing a song that everyone knows.
Yeah.
And I also think like, yeah, from playing festivals to restaurants, like there is no show that's too small. You're always hitting a new audience. Like, has there been one show, I guess, in the last year or so that stood out the most to you?
Yeah, I'd say actually like two of them in the summer. I did one
Nice.
in Toronto for Youth Day,
Cool.
and there was a lot of people there. It was like right in downtown, and actually a few people that I knew came out, which was really nice. And that was a great one. And then I also did a festival at the end of August in like it's called the Winona Peach Festival. It's like big up here,
Sure,
maybe
sure.
not much other places, but it's pretty big up here. And I had actually that one a lot of because I teach music as well, so a lot of my students came out to that one, which was really nice.
Awesome.
And then I had a lot of friends come out.
Right. Built-in supporters right there. The people
Yeah,
that love you as a teacher and want to see you thrive.
yeah.
And so, okay, we got to get to the song. It is called Love Me Not. Legitimately, I probably listened to it like 10 times at this point. And I'm not joking, like it is wonderful. And I've listened to your music in the past, and something feels very fresh about this. Like it's stripped back in a way to where it's not overproduced and gimmicky or anything like that, but also just like your voice takes center stage and it does all the hard work. I love it. And I want to know what it's about. Like what inspired this song directly and all that fun stuff.
Yeah, so I wrote this song actually about a year ago, and it kind of in a weird way, like I wrote it about some like about the concept, like you know when you see something in like in a TV show, it's like people are picking up flowers, like he loves me not, he loves me, he loves me not, that kind of
Yes.
thing.
Classic.
So yeah, so I kind of I went into the songwriting session. I was like, I feel like there's something there. Like I feel like I can
Yeah.
write something like that. So I went in with that, and that was the original kind of concept. And then I sat on it for a little bit, like the song, like it was done, but I hadn't recorded it yet because I was like, I'm not like whatever. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I
Yeah.
relate to it enough to be able to release it and all that kind of stuff. I just kind of had the idea. Then in the summer, I feel like I literally foreshadowed my life. Like I feel like it was deja vu. Like that exact situation, like he loves me not, happened in the summer. So I was like,
Oh,
this is literally like what I wrote about. So then I was
yeah.
like, I need to record this song. So then I
Right.
recorded it all in August.
That's that's actually hilarious. You kind of manifested the real experience,
I
which is
did.
kind of cool because usually it happens the other way, especially
Yeah.
in songwriting where it's like, oh, this thing happened to me, love story, blah, blah, blah. Might as well write a song about it. You created this out of thin air,
I did.
which is even better. Um, so okay, so I guess like what came first for you in the song in terms of like creating it? Was it the lyrics? Was it the melodies? Was it everything else that's going on? Or yeah, I want to hear all about like the process side of things.
Yeah. So I went into the songwriting session with the concept. That's where the title came from, like the Love Me Not. Like that's where I
Okay,
kind of with that. Then I wrote it with two songwriters. One of them had the guitar, like he had a guitar kind of lick, I guess, that was already he kind of had.
sure.
So we went off of that, and then it just kind of went from there. It all started from the title though. Like it all started from that one kind of concept. And I don't know, like I still don't know how that came in my head. But like, and it just made sense, especially with like the guitar parts that were happening. I was like, hey, it just all fits.
Right. Sometimes it's best not to question it and kind of just let it happen. Because, yeah, as a songwriter and an independent artist, you should know best that it can be very difficult to get inspired to make something. So if you think you have a legitimate idea, it's probably best to roll with it and see what happens.
Yeah,
But it kind of sounds like this one was more of a process rather than just like, I'm going to sit down and write a song. Like it was
yeah,
just life experience and just, getting out
definitely.
there and living. Did you have anyone help you in terms of like, tying up all the loose ends, the production, any of that fun stuff?
Yeah, I always have. So I've been working with the same producer for a little bit. His name is Tal. He's like great. I
Cool.
always work. Yeah, I always work with him. My last three songs I think have been with him. He's just great with that kind of stuff. Also, like I wrote it with Brian Mello. Like he's one of the songwriters on the song. Um, and I've known him for like over 10 years. So everything was like all that kind of stuff. He always helps me with like the sounds and all that.
Sure.
Like before I went in to record, I sat down with him and I was like, "Okay, what are we thinking? Like vibe wise, like how is this song do you think is going to sound?" And we kind of bounce ideas off each other before I even went in to record, so
Yeah.
that all that was ready for going in,
Oh
basically.
yeah. Now that makes sense because you can't just get in there and figure it out because
Yeah.
studio time is expensive to say the least. So
Yes, time
I
is
get
money.
it. One thing I do have a question about though, and like I've been going back and forth on it, is how are you describing the song, like genre wise, if someone was to ask you, like, oh, what is this? Because I don't know, like it kind of is a lot of things, but I want to hear from you.
Yeah, I always struggle with the genre question because whenever I release, I feel like all my songs are slightly different.
They
Like,
are. They are.
they're very, like, they all work together, but they're all different at the same time.
Sure.
So, and that's like it's a conscious decision. Like I don't want things to sound the same. I
Yeah.
always want to like be changing and moving forward. So when I let people listen to this song, I've always like it's pop, but it's always like different kind of elements into it. Like when I was people were listening, they were like, it almost sounds like early 2000s, like Avril Lavigne, like kind of like angst a little bit. So I
Okay.
heard
Okay.
that a little bit. So I just leave like the genre question up to whoever. I'm like, it's pop, but like
Right.
there's different elements inside of it.
I think
That
that's probably for the best, mainly because pop has just this massive umbrella of subgenres, and you can
Yeah,
kind of call things pop even if they're not like, oh yeah, this is the pop that you hear on the radio. Like
yeah,
everything's catchy in some sort. I think
exactly.
that's for the best here.
Yeah,
Because yeah, I don't really know. Like it very much sounds like its own thing, and having listened to your other music, it is a bit of an outlier, but
yeah,
in a good way because it still is very much you, which I think
yeah,
is very important when, continuing to build your sound is like you don't want to create 10 different songs that could be from 10 different artists. You want
exactly.
things that have a little bit of variation in them, and I think this kind of fits that perfectly. So
Yeah,
if that was the goal, I think it's been achieved. So
yeah.
super important. And yeah, not that you haven't, released music in a while, but like what's it been like on the creative end for you? Like, do you have other things in the works, like demos? I don't know. I feel, not to put words in your mouth or anything, but you kind of strike me as the type of artist that like different ideas come and maybe, you're not tying them up at the end, but you'll work on them later. I don't know.
Yeah, it's always it always happens really like weird for me. I always when things always happen to me in threes. So like I'll like write a song. I'll have like three songs done, and then I'll record them all, and then just release them all. And then I'll have like three more songs, like start writing a bunch, and then
Sure.
release them all. Like have them all kind of lined up. So right now I'm kind of around like the tail end of having songs.
Okay,
So
cool.
now I'm in my writing song kind of phase.
There you go. No, I
Yeah.
like that though. Um, because yeah, it's tough to be like, okay, I'm gonna release a song a month. If you hold yourself to that type of schedule, the quality may dip, but if you're inspired to make songs and make the song.
Yeah.
I want to know though, like, do you think it's necessary to live the experience in order to write the song?
I don't think it's necessary to live it. I think that being maybe around kind of the idea or being around a situation that you're writing about kind
Okay.
of helps you, but
Yeah,
I don't think it necessarily has to happen to you. There's like a lot of things.
that's a good point. Yeah, sorry to interrupt. That's a great point.
Yeah, I feel
Yeah, it could be other people.
yeah, 100%. Like I feel like as long as you know the general idea of what you're writing about, you can go as deep as you want to in that idea.
Sure.
And yeah, and it doesn't have to happen to you as long as you relate to the situation, then you can write about whatever.
I like that. Um, Getting back to the live shows and stuff, we're very much towards the end of the year here. But do you have anything planned in terms of, wrapping out 2023 on a high note?
I do. I have four shows in November,
Oh,
which I'm
wow. Okay.
yeah.
That's huge.
I know. It was like I actually just got the fourth one last night. It
Nice.
was
Congrats.
yeah. Thank you. It like November's gonna be really busy. I have like some restaurant ones, and then I have um just some. I guess it's like a stage area. It's called Main Stage. It's like a little performance kind of venue near me.
Sure.
And yeah, I have live lots of stuff like that going on, which I'm really excited about. Which
Very cool.
gives me a chance to perform these songs, which is great.
Nice. And how do you go about balancing, okay, I've got shows coming up, I've got a life to live, and also I have these other songs that need to be released. Like, does it ever feel overwhelming at a point?
Um, I yes and no. I feel like it just depends on the month for me.
That is
Sometimes
true.
I'll have like I'll have focusing on like work and teaching and stuff, and then I don't really
Yeah.
feel overwhelmed. And then some months I'll have four shows and I'll have a song
Yeah.
releasing, and then I'm working, and then that's kind of when it gets a little bit overwhelming. But it depends on how much I have. Like it's always month to month. Like whatever's going on that month is the level of overwhelm that I am.
That's a great point. And honestly, totally reasonable. I think you're in an interesting situation here where it's like your job is music. You know what I mean? Like you're not working a, boring 9 to 5 office job where you have to like, okay, brain, we're doing this for 8 hours and then switch over. Like you're always sort of in this fluid musical state, which probably helps you.
Yeah,
And maybe people understand, like, yeah, I've got other things coming up, so work on that. That is
yeah,
very, very rare, but also probably really nice too.
yeah.
That's
That's
awesome.
great.
Um, Now I don't want you to say too much if you're uncomfortable, but is there an unreleased song that you're most excited for people to hear?
Um, I think that I'm kind of still in the writing stage for a lot of them. I'm not like none of them are really done yet.
Sure.
So I don't have a distinct song that I'm thinking of right now
That's
that I
cool.
think is really that I'm really excited about. I just have lots of like little things that I want to continue just to see where they go.
You know what? That's as good as it gets right there.
Yeah.
And also another part of being an independent artist, you set your own schedule and you don't rush it and it comes out when it comes out.
Mhm.
Um, in that similar vein though, like I said, we're very close to wrapping up this year and the new one approaches. What are some potential goals you'd like to hit in the first 6 months or so?
One of my goals is definitely performing, continuing that. I want to have like at least a show every month. I want to be able to do that this next year.
Sure.
Um, and I still want to continue releasing. I want to hopefully two songs next year. I'm not too quite sure what those two songs are, but two is
Okay.
definitely a goal. So keeping the performance thing like more consistent. Because I find that like when I have performances, like it'll be I have like four in 1 month, and then I'll go like a month with nothing, and then like four with, and then another month with
Sure.
like three, and then all that kind of stuff. So I want to have like try my best to keep it a little more consistent with that stuff, and then keep releasing songs.
I mean, that's as good as it gets right there. Truly. I hear what you're saying though about like going in these spurts and then having, empty months.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. You kind of need to just like keep going and find opportunities. And I know it's easier said than done, but like, I mean, I assume like your area has a pretty thriving music scene. So there's probably always somewhere to play or something to do. It's
Yeah.
just getting
Oh,
out there and doing it. I don't know. It's a full-time job trying to figure it out.
100%.
Totally. I have a couple more questions for you, and I want to know this year has been stacked with other artist releases that I'm sure have influenced you in some way. Are there a
Yeah.
handful of either songs or albums or artists that you found like had a direct impact on your music?
Um, yeah, I always find Adele, like even if she doesn't release, like I always find
Yeah,
inspiration from Adele, like at all times.
right.
I love her music, and honestly, Avril Lavigne, like her kind of stuff, but like not like her 2019 album that I really like. Like I think
Sure.
it's called Head Above Water. Like that, it's
Okay.
that song specifically that I really like. That I actually took inspiration for this song a little bit from.
Nice.
So been really liking that. Um, I think that's pretty much who I've been into
That's
recently.
awesome.
I've been listening to a lot of Adele.
I haven't listened to that Avril album, and being what I would consider to be like an OG fan, it kind of upsets me that I haven't listened to it. So I'm gonna do that today. I'm gonna listen to that record today, and I'll let you know what I think.
I love that. Like specifically that song, the title track is like my
Okay,
favorite. It's so good.
cool. Yeah, I know she was experiencing a bit of a comeback, and I know she's kind of been out and about doing things. So yeah, all right. If there was any time to listen, it's gonna be today.
Yeah.
Um, Obviously your music first, and then we'll listen to her. So. Okay, so my last question for you here, and you may remember because I asked you the same thing last time, is it's basically for the person that is going to discover you from this. What is an opening message that you'd like to say to them before they listen to the song for the first time?
I always say that I hope the song empowers them, and I hope it resonates with them in some way, whatever way that they want to take the song, if whether that be different from the way that I wrote it. I always want you to be able to connect to it in any way that you want, and I hope that it finds you the way it's supposed to. And yeah, I hope you like it.
And yeah, there you go. That's all the reason to listen.
Yeah.
Isabella, I want to thank you so much, but please let me plug your song for you before we wrap up here. So we're recording this before the song comes out, but when it does come out, the song will be here for you to listen, and it's called Love Me Not, and we'll have the links in our articles so that you can listen and share and follow along and do all that fun stuff. And I want to thank you for taking the time. You're always a fun talk, truly. and
Thank you.
and that means a lot. So yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. It's been fun.
You're very welcome. All right. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day. I hope to speak soon. And yeah, take care for now.
Thanks.
Cool. All right. See you later. Bye bye.